My work at PETA has always been rewarding. I get to organize a variety of campaigns that put ethical vegan fashion into the news and consumer consciousness. These include collaborating with high-profile designers and celebrities and introducing companies to innovative, sustainable materials. Many of our targeted campaigns have led to landmark victories for animals, which is great. But when you're working day in and out for social progress, it never seems to come quickly enough. I consider myself an optimist, but I'd be lying if I said that it isn't frustrating to look around and to see the world continuing to indulge in what it doesn't understand or may not care directly contributes to the suffering of animals. Sometimes I do find myself wandering down that dark rabbit hole where I wonder why I bother trying to change things at all. This was my headspace the day that I decided to attend my first slaughterhouse vigil. It had been about 3 years since I left my job in the military to work for PETA, and I was beginning to feel a little worn out. But I knew that it wasn't a vacation to get away from the issue of animal abuse that I needed. I knew that I had to get closer. I needed a reminder of why I had made the commitment to advocate for animals in the first place. There was a local activist group that held weekly vigils outside of a pig slaughterhouse in Los Angeles. They witness the final moments of the pigs' lives and then post photos and videos of them on their social media so that friends and family are more likely to connect a face with the ham or bacon on their plate. I had no idea what to expect. When the first truckload of pigs arrived, the smell of their waste was overpowering. And if it was burning our noses outside of the truck, I could only imagine what it was like for them, standing on top of their feces for hours, packed body to body. I could hear them grunting in distress, and when I peered through the open slats on the side of the truck, I saw the bruises and scabs all over their bodies, and I saw their scared eyes looking at me. Ironically, the entire perimeter of this particular slaughterhouse is covered in a lovely mural of happy cartoon pigs. They're lounging by ponds with shade from the sun, and farmers sit and laugh alongside them. It shocked me to see such blatant mockery of the pain that these animals actually experience. The pigs are forced to go without food and water the entire time they're on the trucks, which can legally be up to 36 hours. So the vigil organizers arrange with the local authorities for the trucks to stall for a few minutes before turning into the slaughterhouse so that activists can give them water. And what surprised me more than seeing these animals so close was that despite all they had gone through, many of them eagerly approached us to get a drink of water from our bottles and our spray hoses. Their little snouts would get a grip of the bottles and drink and drink and drink. And when this first truck was getting ready to pull away, I had to pry my water bottle out of the mouth of one of the little pigs who wasn't ready to let go. Not long after the first truck turned the corner, I could hear them being killed just inside the gates. They were screaming. And here I was, just a few yards away, but there was nothing that I could do to stop what was happening. And for the next few hours, I watched as a steady stream of more trucks with more pigs drove through the gates and then drove away empty a few minutes later. When I got home early that morning, all I could do was sit on my couch and stare at the blank wall in front of me. I had been helpless to save these little pigs who were right at my fingertips. But then I realized I'm not helpless at all. I can get up and get to work. When I returned to the office, I came ready to get shit done. We hit the ground running, and before I knew it, our targets for decades, Michael Kors, Versace, Gucci, among so many others, dinosaurs who had always refused to stop selling fur, within months of each other announced that they were banning it and moving on to more sustainable faux fur options. Tesla dropped leather and switched to all vegan interiors for its vehicles. Some of the biggest fashion brands in the world, like H&M, Zara, and Gap, announced that they were banning mohair from their collections. Stella McCartney joined us in challenging college students at premier design schools to invent a plant-based vegan wool. But that's just part of it. You are the other part. Get to know the not-so-happy backstory. Watch the videos. Take a moment to picture the individual who was killed for that handbag or belt or pair of shoes or whatever it is you may have thought you couldn't do without. It's been about a year since I met the pig who fought to hold on to me, but her willingness to approach me and her will to survive are forever imprinted on my heart. And when I begin to feel heavy with the weight of the suffering in the world, she keeps me motivated. I hope that each of you will investigate more stories like hers. I hope that you will choose to look closer, see the individual. I think you'll find that when you do, it becomes impossible to look away. Thank you.